You're excited to crush your goals for the week, and you're overall just excited to be here. Let's go. Awesome. Welcome back, everybody, to another Men for More Monday. Today, I wanted to discuss something that has recently come up a lot. A lot of people have been messaging me this. Friends have actually reached out inquiring about how to find this. And so, good morning. Good morning. There we go. I love how you guys are interacting with one another, saying good morning to everybody in the chat. Let's go. Awesome. So today, before we dive into Q&A, I want to talk about how to find your why. And if you've already found it, great. This will be another recap for you on exactly how you found it. But if you haven't found it, I want to make sure that we all talk about finding your why, so that way you know what you were put on this earth to do. You know what you truly enjoy doing. So that way, when you do decide to pursue a career, you're not doing something just for the money because it could blind you. You're doing it because you're actually passionate about it. You enjoy doing it, and you would even do it even if you weren't getting paid. So I am very, very excited to talk about this. Awesome. If we're all ready to get started, do me a favor, type a five in the chat. Awesome. Okay, let's go. All right. So first off, on how to find your why, you got to hone in on what's your superpower. You got to ask yourself, what do I enjoy doing? What has stuck with me throughout the years? And what is something I'm passionate about? And I love this finding your why question because it doesn't have an extent to entrepreneurship. If you want a career as a lawyer, as a surgeon, and you're going to college for that, but you love doing it, you're passionate about it, then that's your why. But if you don't know exactly what your why is, I would say hone in on that. Hone in on that one question. Like, what do I enjoy doing? What is my superpower? What do I do better than anybody else? So that way you can find your why. A lot of times we get blinded by a steady paycheck. We get blinded by, a job that seems good for the moment, waiting for us to get a promotion, or us performing an actual business endeavor. We actually hate the business endeavor, but we're doing it because we believe in the area of entrepreneurship that it's in, the money that will result from that hard work, creating that business. We still have this hole inside of our hearts because it doesn't exactly define us for our why and why we're doing it. Okay. So do me a big, big favor. If you're living in your dream, if you're living in your purpose right now, type an 8 in the chat. Amazing. Okay, awesome. Let's go. So if you keep on living in your why, you're going to find yourself being more and more fulfilled. Have you guys ever waken up one day and you don't even know what the day's going to hold? You don't even know what you're going to do, but you're just passionate about it because you have this unlimited dopamine spike because you're doing what you're supposed to do and you're being who you're supposed to be. Now it's not going to come easy. You're not going to, sorry, just received the text message. You're not going to have the best days always, right? There's going to be some conflict that comes up. There's going to be some stress involved, right? Especially if you're upholding a business. There's a lot of times where the burden is going to be on your shoulders to keep the business afloat, right? To handle any emergency situations that may arise, but because you're living in your why, because you are having that it factor within yourself that you can accomplish those goals and you're passionate about it. Nobody can take that away from you. I always said the best salesperson is the one that has two things. One, the sales skills, right? How to frame object, how to help people get back on track and see their goals for what they want to accomplish. And two, the passion. You can be the best salesperson in the world, but if you don't have that passion for what you do or that belief in the product, you're not going to get anywhere with that sales call because they will see in your eyes that you don't have that drive to actually get them on board with what you're selling because you have no belief. It's the same thing with everything, right? I used to work retail, and in retail, right, there's only minimal sales skills that are involved, obviously, because you're ringing people up, you're asking them questions, etc. And there's no real incentive because you're not earning a commission for what you sell. But nevertheless, I decided to take that as an opportunity to learn about sales and exactly how the human mind works. And what I come to realize is if you don't believe in the product, if you don't believe in what you're selling, then you're not going to get anywhere with the customer. But if you love the clothes that are in the store, right, you're passionate about it, you wear it even when you're not working, then you'll have a better idea of exactly what to find a customer and how to get them what they need. So that's just a little example of where I'm coming from with that. It's that when you have that belief, it doesn't matter what is in your way, what objection may occur, you know that it works in your mind, so you're able to help and offer a solution for that objection or for that question. And so that leads to finding your why. If you're objecting as to why you're not performing in your why, why you're not performing in who you are truly, you're lying to yourself because you're just gonna keep going down that rabbit hole of I'm doing this because of me, no one else is gonna tell me what to do. This is the next best step for me. But if you live in that reality and you're like, okay, well maybe this isn't the next best step for me. Maybe I do need to figure out what I want to do in my life. Then that's how you figure out your why. That's how you figure out what you want to do, and eventually that's how you succeed in life. You may not make a certain amount of money off rip, right? You could turn down a $100,000 job for a $50,000 job, but if that $50,000 job is you living in your why, doing what you want to do when you want to do it, then I guarantee that will pay off mentally, at least for you, much more than getting that $100,000 paycheck every single year. So I hope that offers some insight, everybody. Happy birthday, Ryan! I just saw that. I want to give a big shout out to Ryan in the chat. It's his birthday today, so happy birthday! I'm glad you're on this call, just joining us in. Let's go. Awesome. So I just didn't want to take up too much time. I know for these past Men for More Monday calls, I go on until 9. Or for those who are on different times at the top of the hour. So I want to make sure we have early time to talk about some Q&A. So if anybody has a question, please feel free to raise your hand, and I'll be more than happy to answer it. Let me go ahead and bring up Hiba. Welcome up. Let me ask you to unmute. Great to see you again.
Yes, I'm so glad to be back over here. It's been the most rewarding community, like spiritually, mentally, I don't know, in so many levels. It's been so nice. I honestly, when I joined the community, I never thought it would help me because I'm like, they're way in the other side of the world. How are they going to ever understand anything? But somehow I came here and I'm like, we're all the same. Like, so all of us have similar things that we want. The humanness is so beautiful to witness here. So so I have to thank you and you, Fang, for this. I really have to thank you guys for this. And also, Josephine, she did a session last time that I joined. It was so good and so deep. Like, I'm like, oh wow, that's somebody I would love to be. Like, God bless you, God bless you. And with the why, discovering the why, it is very, very important because like how Athan just said, when even in those moments when life really gets difficult, it will help you understand why you started in the first place. But if it's something just materialistic like money, you're not going to have a grounding. You won't keep moving forward when things get difficult because you're like, well, I'm not getting anything out of this because the only thing you wanted was money. Like, so they say, right, some people are so poor, the only thing they have is money, right? So for me, as a single mother to 3 toddlers, I told this last time I spoke to one of the team members in School of Hard Knocks about how just a couple of months back I wanted to take my toddlers and crush into a truck because of life. That I'm like, I don't want to go ahead anymore. But then at that time I'm like, no, you have a purpose, you have the skill set that God has given. and I just had to use it again and put it in place and get there. And it's been this year. I never saw that it would end like this, but it's so blessed, so blissful. So many people are supportive of the initiative that I've brought forward. It is phenomenal. And in fact, I was like, I talked to one of my teachers, and she's like, Hiba, a lot of times God puts us through certain things so that because He knows you have the strength to pull others out who are in similar situation, right? And that could be a reason you went through what you went through. So I was like, wow. And like because some people don't have the energy to get out of it, and so maybe you have it, and God put you through it so you can support others. And I'm like, that's what I've been doing. It, alhamdulillah. That's been really great. So I just wanted to share the importance of being grounded in your why. Alhamdulillah. Yeah.
Absolutely, Hugh. And I'm so glad that you decided not to do what you thought that was the best option during that time, because now it just made you so much more of a stronger person, right? A lot of times we go through these different trials and tribulations, not to break us, but actually to shape us, make us, and create us into stronger individuals, stronger human beings that are willing to withstand and endure more pain to see more success in the future. And so I'm so glad that you knew that it wasn't your purpose to go and actually perform that action. Rather, it was an opportunity for you to create yourself into somebody stronger. So we're all here for you. And that's why I truly love this community, by the way. It's not more so okay, awesome. It's not more so the members and the calls that we get with the millionaires and billionaires, really, that's really nice. But what I truly do appreciate about this community is how whenever I scroll, there's always someone posting, and then there's always someone underneath that post with a response. Like we all care about one another so deeply that we want to see what people post, we want to hear what people have to say, and that's what I feel like is our superpower as a community as a whole. We're almost like a family, and so it's more so or less not somewhere where we can go engage to try to sell somebody something, but try to actually make a connection that could end up being a business endeavor in the future, or even just lifelong relationship/friendship. So that's what I truly love about this community. So I'm glad you brought that up, Eva.
Last time I posted in the community looking for some support on building an event, and one lady she reached out, and I was stumped because she gave me 1 hour of the meeting. She's like, "Let's meet and we'll do a Zoom call for 1 hour." And 15 minutes into the call, my phone died, and I didn't have a charger, and I'm out of house, and it's in between, and I'm like, "Oh my Lord, I'm just keeping her waiting. There is no way I can let her know." You won't believe when I tell you, it took me 25 minutes to connect my phone back at the charger. I bought a new charger and just plugged it in the car. And she was waiting for me, Athan. Can you believe that? She was waiting for me. She's like, I gave this time for you. And she's from this community, Melanie. What a resourceful, oh my Lord, what a woman she is. MashaAllah, really. God bless her. So, yeah, thank you so much. You guys are the best. And I always pray for you guys and your parents who raised you so good. I mean, I always pray for you guys, really.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Eva. I appreciate it. And thank you for continuously joining the calls. It means a lot. Awesome. All right. Next up, Rye. Rye, welcome up. It's always
Hey,
great to see you.
Ethan, always good to see you. Oh my God, you're always on point with all of your answers and wisdom. I guess my question would be this, and thank you, Eva. That was really inspirational. It kind of cut me off guard with my heartbreak from hearing you wanting to crash your car and stuff. And I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you're finding the wisdom and inspiring all of us. I guess my question would be this. I love what you said, Ethan, about you do your why without wanting to make money, thinking that that's where the goal is, because you're doing it, you're willing to do it because you love it and you're making an impact in the world. Hardest part that I find as an entrepreneur, I know that I'm meant to do that. That's my zone of genius as a relationship coach, helping other people. The biggest struggle is like when you have to hustle on the side and then you got bills to pay. So I'm like, I'm gonna either be driving Ubers, waitressing because I love people. I just love serving people and putting a smile on the face and then feeding them because I love food. So my question would be, how do you manage to do like between safety? Because I got a government job, it's safe, it's great pay, but it's like a golden cage. And then I'm like, I like the waitressing job because then I can work super early, 4 in the morning, finish, and then I still have time for my business to nourish my dream and my vision because I want to know and I want to inspire my kids to go after your dream. And even if you didn't make it, at least you tried. Rather than just going, I should have tried and die in your bed and go, I could have, you never knew, but at least I tried. And then Jim Carrey always said, I love his saying too, that his father stayed in this job, so loyal to it. And then in the end, they still put him out of the door. So might as well try it on a dream that maybe you might succeed. So I guess my question is, how do you balance those two when you have like the anxiety and the fear of like, am I going to make it?
No, yeah, that's a very, very great question. And I want to bring up a question somebody asked me. They were telling me, someone sent me a DM and said, Athan, like what does 1% better mean to you? And I personally said 1% better doesn't necessarily mean that you accomplish a goal each day, right? If you have a mini goal, maybe that's possible. But let's say we have high expectations for ourselves, or maybe just one goal that we want to strive for a duration of months or years, right? What 1% better looks to me is removing a bad habit and finding and replacing it with a good one, right? So that to me is what 1% better is, because that allows you to get to 100 eventually, right? Where you have a strict down routine where you know what you're going to be doing every single part of the day, right? I calendar my entire day. I even have like a message, wake up. I have a notification that says eat. I have a notification that says do this, that, etc. Go to the gym. But I calendar my day so that way I have it ready and set and prepared for me knowing what my next moves are. So, and that comes from, and to answer your question, when I was working that retail job, I was going to college, and I was still trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my brand Meant for More. I was just designing. I didn't know what I was doing with the designs. I didn't know how I was going to actually make them into an actual product, right? But I knew I wanted to do something with that. And so that was me getting 1% better each day. I knew my responsibilities, right? Go to work, part-time, go to college, technically full-time, right? And then on the side, because I didn't want to give up my dream, my passion, my why, I went ahead and decided to get 1% better each day by making one new design each day, right? And then afterwards, I'm like, okay, I'm starting to get used to this. What is something else I can do to kind of have my business enhance so eventually it can take over my other responsibilities, right? So I'll be the first to tell you here. I'm not going to be the first to tell you to quit your job and go all in, although that's a possibility. A lot of people have done that. One of my mentors actually did that. He got into credit card debt, sold his vehicle just to make his business work, investing in different courses, and finally he was able to land on one that actually worked. And now he's very successful. He's a millionaire now, owning a multi-million-dollar business. But nevertheless, that is a route you can take. The way that I took it, and the advice that I'm going to give you today, because I actually did it, is with your business that you're doing, right, along with your government job and then your waiter job, get 1% better each day by doing something different within your business, right? It could be something as simple as filing for an LLC, creating a social media page, posting on that social media page, creating the logo for the brand, or in this case, that was my, since it's my brand Meant for More, that's the way I did it. So I created a logo one day, I started creating different designs for t-shirts because at the time I thought it was going to be a clothing brand, and then et cetera, et cetera. Now moving forward to today, by the way, one of those steps was joining the School of Mentors August of 2024, and that's how I ended up here, right? So of course, I'm not working at that retail job anymore. I moved from LA to Austin, Texas, and so by me getting 1% better each day, I was actually blessed enough to earn that opportunity to actually escape what I guess people call the matrix, escape that golden handcuff job that's always bringing me a steady paycheck every second Friday. But nevertheless, to kind of conclude that entire message, even today, with me being an entrepreneur within the School of Mentors, the School of Hard Knocks, I'm still hungry for more. I still want to do more for myself, right? I'm living my purpose with this job because I get to talk to amazing people every single day, kind of conversing and sharing my knowledge because I want people to find their why and live in their purpose. And then on the side, I created my Meant for More social media account where I do daily edits to inspire people, motivate people, and encourage people to crush their goals, win their day, and ultimately chase their dreams and achieve them. And it hasn't even been 2 months. I'm already at 7,000 followers, and I started October 31st. And that's because I decided, hey, you know what? I want more for myself. I'm gonna continue doing more for myself, and I just decided to start chasing that. And so that's what I would advise you: get 1% better each day. It could be something. I told the person that messaged me this. It could be something as simple as you doing your bed in the morning if you don't do it, or you immediately, instead of going on your phone, get up, going to brush your teeth, getting up, going to splash some water on your face, right? That's getting 1% better each day because you're building up good habits. So that way you allow yourself more time to accomplish your goals, right? Rather than you taking 20 minutes to be on your phone in the morning, you can buy back that 20 minutes that you would have been on your phone to already have brushed your teeth, wash your face, and then started cooking breakfast, right? That's buying back your time, in my opinion. So that's what I would advise.
So much. They're very, very good. Only 1%. I'm actually reading the book of Jack Canfield. I think it's the Success Habit or something. Yes, it is the Success Principle. So he did say 1%, and that's exactly what he did. Ethan, thank you so much. And I love to be able to connect. So how can I support? And I love the title Meant for More because that really just goes and get people's heart. How do I actually support you and follow you? Do you have Instagram or something like that?
If you guys are interested, I'll actually, you know what? I was just gonna put the ad. Let me get the link for you guys so that way you guys can go straight to it.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely, yeah. All right. And here you go. So I'm dropping in the chat, everybody, if you guys are interested. And then if you ever want to connect, right, just feel free to message me on school. I'll be more than happy to respond. I'm sure that everybody in this call knows that I respond immediately, but I'll get back to you in 1 to 2 days. And that's usually the bandwidth I allow myself before a message. I never let a message go unnoticed. I always make sure I respond to you guys.
Thank you so much. And just so you know, it's Reed because the Y is confusing.
Reed, okay.
All good.
Thank you for that clarification.
No worries.
I won't get it wrong next time, I promise. The next mentorship call that we're having, I think it's tomorrow. I'll make sure. Awesome. Thank you, Reed. All right. Josephine. How's it going, Josephine?
Good morning, everyone. I'm doing great. Hi, everyone. I'm Josephine Green. I'm a holistic health and happiness scientist, therapist, and coach. And I really, really enjoy this community. Big shout out to Ryan Hamden, who has its birthday today. And I'm really happy that we will meet later. And just so you know, I've been in this community just shortly for a few months and already have great connections. Ryan is one of them. We work together already and it's fantastic. So there is a lot in that community that you can take out of it for connections, for inspiration, everything. So I really, really can support what Ree and Hiba said before. It's a great community and I really enjoy being here. So my problem, so to say, is that exactly the opposite. I've always known my why, always, and I was very passionate about it and compassionate with others, which led me to always help instead of work. So I always did it for free or for very, very low charge, and I had many years troubles to even charge for my work, even though it was super high quality. And I got so used to that I now have kind of trouble to actually charge for what it's worth. And it's I've been working on that, but it's just so I really enjoy so much supporting people that but I could charge 10 times more. And I've looked at many other coachings and programs, and I realized I'm even better, and they charge 10 times. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is what people actually offer. I have so much more. And it was really like that big aha moment, realizing that I was meant for more. And I'm always kind of shocked when I see the programs of people that being celebrated. I'm like, what? That's it? That's it? That's what I do all the time. And but yeah, so my problem is a bit that to just charge for more, even there are so many people approaching me who can't afford it, and I'm like, but you're such a beautiful person, I really want to help you, and then I don't have the time for clients that are maybe higher value, higher tickets, and to balance that out. And also my second thing is that I have so many ideas because of my why. I wake up with new ideas every day, but I can't do them all. There's just not enough time to do that. And I know most people would say, yeah, just get an AI agent or whatever, but still it's a bit difficult. So those are my two things that I struggle with right now, to just charge for what my work and my compassion and my expertise is worth it, and to balance out that rush of ideas, but then to prioritize to get the most important. But what's most important, it always feels all really important because I could have these people, I could have those people, I have this program, and it's already, and most of them are even half done in my drawer. So those things I'm struggling with right now. So maybe you have an inspiration for me or someone else. I'm really curious. Thank you.
Yeah, Josephine, I just want to say you are one of our strongest members, just continuously showing up. So we appreciate you for sure. And these are good problems to have, believe it or not. Like these are amazing problems to have, because there is a way. I didn't believe this initially. I gotta be honest. Like I thought, okay, I'm getting to the point where my workflow is so overloaded that people want to hop on a call with me, I'm going to have to charge. And I thought that that's a very bad thing to do, because a lot of people are in need of my help. They're desperately wanting to get at least on a 15-minute phone call with me, so that way I can answer their questions. How am I able to offer them kind of that reassurance and that fulfillment within a 15-minute phone call? It's just not possible. So I don't even feel like doing it, right? So I would say this. What I've been taught from the Hard Knocks team, and which I'm going to tell you right now, is there are tasks within your day-to-day business that you do not need to be doing. And so let's say you do decide to charge, right? And you focus on those higher ticket clients for right now. That will allow you the bandwidth financially to be able to hire a VA on the other side of the country to help you complete those tasks that maybe you don't need to be doing, right? Like something as simple as writing an email, right? They can be writing those emails for you, right? Connecting with other individuals, setting up those phone calls for you. And then that's where you allow yourself more time to be able to actually perform what you do best, right? Health coach, positive coach, happiness coach. You're able to attend more clients that way. Second thing I'll say for your other point, when you said, how can I help these people who don't want to, who don't have the funds as of the moment, but still want and need my help? What I would suggest, and by the way, exactly as you described. Before I even say this, I know you mentioned that you have these different ideas, you want to go here and here and here. What happens oftentimes is we overload the mind with so many bright ideas, we feel like we're being stretched left, right, front, center, top, bottom. And so we feel like we don't even know where to go and we're stagnant. We stay at the same place. I want to challenge you to actually hone in and focus on one branch within your business. You have a big tree. It has to go branch to branch to branch to branch, but you have to go and focus on one branch first so that way it can bear fruit before you move on to the next one and the next one and the next one. And eventually you have a big, ginormous tree that's giving you back on the hard work that you achieved. So what I would say is hone in on that one thing. Focus on that one goal that you have currently. What's the most important thing right now to Josephine that matters in order to make the big change? That's the needle mover. Focus on that and pursue that. And then, so let's say right now that's your higher ticket client. So that way you can pay for a VA to buy back your time. After you do that, that will allow you more time to actually be able to attend to those clients that don't want to pay any money but still want your value. You can drop a free course. You can create free videos on how to transform their mind. So that way you buy back your time that way. You keep them in the funnel, and that way you feel fulfilled because you have something for them rather than nothing. Okay, so those are a couple of my recommendations. I've actually started creating videos myself on how to help people shift their mindset, chase their goals, pursue their dreams, and ultimately not feel like their life isn't worth living. That's mainly what I focus in. And I've seen such a great return on that because the same exact advice that I continuously offer the same type of people who don't have the money to be able to afford my services, I was able to put it all in a video. And that way they feel like they got something out of it. I still get messages like, Athan, oh my gosh, like this video you sent me really transformed my mind. And I didn't even have to give up my time to hop on a call with them. I just created the video, did what I did best, and then sent it to them, and that's what worked. And so, challenge you on those two things, right? Focus on that one next step for you that you feel like is the best next step that matters to Josephine. Yeah.
I really like that image of the branch to bear fruit. I mean, of course, it doesn't work like that because the roots need to be good and then all the branches bear fruit. But I like it as a picture to do it like that. And yes, you know, my goal, my ultimate goal would be to have the funds that I can, so that I am financially so free that I don't even need to charge for my work anymore. That would be my ideal situation. So I don't want to get rich for myself. I want to, you know, have the money so I can serve others, and that would be my perfect situation. But yes, I absolutely agree on that. And so just to give a shout out, my current goal is to offer holistic health retreats in Costa Rica. So if you are interested in that, please come up and reach out. I will look at a venue right now after this call, so I can't stay until the end. So this is the first thing to tackle. So I'm shouting it out right now. This is my branch, and I'm giving it a commitment. I'm finishing the website this week. I've said that for several weeks, but this week I will do it completely. Nevertheless, the perfectionism and yeah. So the health retreats in Costa Rica. If you're interested,
that's amazing, Josephine.
Thank you so much for your an inspiration on that, and I'm very, very curious to hear about the others. And wish you all a great Monday and a great week. Thank you, Athan.
Yes, absolutely, Josephine. Thank you for coming up. Awesome. All right, let's keep it moving. Roy, how's it going?
Good. Hey, Athan. First time we're actually having this interaction. Love your style. Love the way you show up in the world. That's my thing. I love networking. I call it net friending because I'm not after the transaction as much as I am the relationship. And not everybody's going to be my cup of tea, nor will I be for them. So you mentioned passion earlier. So if you could define passion for us all, and then I'll come behind and give you my definition and then ask for your feedback, if that's okay.
Yeah, 100%. I would actually love, Roy, what do you define as passion? Because that has me curious. Because what you said is true. We all have different definitions for passion. So what would yours be to start off? And on top of that, what do you do to live in that passion currently?
Okay, it's probably going to cover it when I tell you. So I have 3 sentences that I use for passion, and hopefully it gets people to think differently than maybe they have as a definition that they work from. See, I believe that belief determines behavior. Just 3 words. And it's a universal law. And I love body language, Athan, and virtual body language. Like right now, I'm audio only. And because I was audio only, I was able to find a business partner. And within a 3-year period of an online relationship, I was in California, she was in Tennessee. She wanted to marry me, and she was the first one to say it. And I never even came on video. And she was on video about 80% of the time. So there's a lot to virtual body language as well. So here's my definition. Now, I'd love your feedback. What are you willing to struggle for? What you keep learning about, even when it's inconvenient. And my third sentence or statement, what you'd still do if the results were delayed or uncertain. And for me personally, I've been working on my passion, which is basically a people search engine for entrepreneurs. I want to connect people to each other. Would love it if they put together at least 3 videos, 60 seconds or less, answering 3 quick questions. Like, what problem do you solve and for whom? Who are you? And who do you want to meet? And I think with those 3, if a person watches that, they'll know, oh my gosh, there's synergy, energy, chemistry there because they're on video. And that way they'll be able to receive an invitation to do a meet and greet for like 15 minutes to find out if there's anything there as far as maybe a collaboration, or, you know, maybe they have a community, you can join that, they have something to offer, you can buy an off. It's all encompassing. And I think it's just a quicker, faster way. Even these breakout rooms that we do, if you know a little bit more about the person before you start talking to them, that's an advantage. And I've put that into a lot of different AIs, and they all come back and give me such positive information. So once again, and I'd love your feedback now, so you may have forgotten 3 sentences. Here they are real quick. What are you willing to struggle for? What do you want to keep learning about even when it's inconvenient? And what would you still do if the results were delayed or uncertain? Athan, thank you, sir.
Yeah, absolutely, Roy. And I kind of did that as like a nice little exercise because it's funny how we all have different definitions for passion, isn't it? Right? We don't exactly have a set stone sentence, set stone couple of words that all align with passion, and more so comes from what we believe is the definition for passion. And so for me, it's funny how they're almost like synonyms. Every quote that you mentioned and the one that I'm thinking in my head, and it's the one that I've already repeated. It's one, what would you do even if you weren't getting paid for it? And then if nothing else mattered, what would you do and why would you do it? And that's why I love talking about finding your why. It's like, why are you doing this? Why are you living? Why are you breathing? Why are you exercising? Why are you pursuing this goal? Why are you doing this? There's always a reason as to why you're doing it. But finding your true why of why do you feel you were made? What impact do you want to create before you leave, right? So it's almost as if you're thinking about impact, whether it's on your body, whether it's on your health, whether it's on your mind, whether it's on your business. But Once you get off of impact, you start thinking about legacy. Once you get older, right? When you're young, when you're young, you're focused on the impact that you want to create, right? Whether it's in your business, whether it's in your life, your goals, you want to make that impact. Like, oh my gosh, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. I want people to know me. But when you get older, none of that matters, right? As you get older, you start thinking less and less about impact, and you start thinking more about, man, I'm getting older. What legacy do I want to leave behind? How are people going to remember me? And so, in terms of answering your question of what passion is, my true definition would be, what would I do even if I wasn't getting paid for it? And the most important thing is like, why? Why do I feel that this is my calling? Why do I want to do this constantly? Why would I do this even if I wasn't getting paid to do it? I hope that answers your question.
Yes, absolutely. I agree with the lowest common denominator that I'm hearing you share is what would you do even if you didn't get paid? I mean, that is truly pointing to someone's passion, right? If you get up in the morning and you rush to doing that thing that you want to do, and if you've still got your 9 to 5, maybe you get up an hour earlier and you work on that because you're fresh in the morning, you're an early bird, or you do it during your 5 to 9 time once you leave your job, your job, right? And then you just can't wait to get home, feed the kids, do all the things you got to do, and then just dedicate all that time, and you don't want to go to sleep. That would be a great definition for passion as well. So love it. Thank you so much for your insight. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, Roy.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And also, I want to, real quick before we move on, I want to note that it's funny how, what would you do even if you weren't getting paid to do it? And then exactly what Roy said, what are you willing to struggle for? It kind of goes hand in hand, right? Because technically, in a worldly perspective, you're struggling if you're not making any money. But, and that just represents your meaning, right? You're willing to struggle in the moment, not making any money. So eventually you can earn money from doing what you love. And that's why I love that so much. It goes hand in hand. What would you do if you weren't getting paid for it? And what are you willing to struggle for? Also, when you make it to that other side, you realize how freeing it is. Like, I can't stress this enough. I was working at that retail job, like, it sucked. It's like real quick, let me just talk about it. It sucked. I would hate waking up. I'd be like, dude, I got to work at 8 in the morning. I got to get up, I got to take a shower, get ready, and then drive 25 minutes to a job that I hate. And now, you think I woke up for this and said, oh, dude, oh, I hate this call. Meant for more Monday. Oh, man, I got to talk to these people. No, I love this. I breathe this. I live this. So the fact that I get to do this for a living, I would not want it any other way. Truly. Like, God has blessed me in so many different ways, and so many like things have happened in my life that, sure, in the moment, I felt like I was defeated. But the fact that I kept my nose to the grind, and I knew that eventually something would be created out of what seemed as nothing. And that's why now I am where I am. I can buy a Christmas tree. I can buy a TV that's mounted. I don't have to rely on anybody for any other version of happiness or success because God blessed me with the endeavor that I knew I was meant to do. I knew I was meant for more than going to college and doing a retail job. And at 21 years old, I mean, I'm here. I'm living and breathing my purpose. And that's what I love doing. And that's why I'm on this call constantly. I'm never going to give up on you guys. I want to hear you guys crush your goals and continuously just doing what you deserve, being who you deserve to be because it's why you were created. It's why you're on this earth. So anyways, sidetrack there, but just wanted to let you all know that like on the other side, there is better, there is more, there is happiness, there is fulfillment, there is success. So keep pushing it. If you guys are struggling and you don't know if it's gonna work or not, you guys got this. Keep on going. You realize that when you're struggling the most and you feel like giving up, that's when you're the closest to success. So let's go. Ryan's fired up. Joshua, great to see you, man. Welcome up.
Same. Thank you so much, Athan. Hi, everyone. Yeah, these are amazing calls. I mean, the talk about passion, talk about success. I actually, this weekend, I jumped on a call with Jodie Benson. She's the voice of Ariel in The Little Mermaid. And she actually was saying that in order to, well, she was doing theater at the time. And when she got cast as the Little Mermaid, she actually had never been in her life in a recording studio. She was doing theater. It was like her show was actually getting canceled. And it was like in the middle of unemployment or doing something that she's never done. And the director of the play actually took her and a bunch of the cast members to audition for what was at the time the newest Disney movie, The Little Mermaid. So she auditioned, and yeah, when she got the part, she like in her mind, the only thing that was going on was, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I've never been in a recording studio. Like, how am I gonna pull this off? The rest is history. She keeps singing Part of Your World around the world, around everybody keeps. I mean, it's still popular to this day, and Ariel is actually a character that still resonates with her to this day. And she was talking about how, well, first of all, Ariel is someone who doesn't fit in the ocean, and she's curious on what the world's like out there, and she felt the same way. So and also, I mean, now she got to a point where she doesn't care if she's liked or not. She owns her mistakes. She actually said that every time she goes on stage, something happens, or her dress breaks somewhere, or a heel, or she even at the Hollywood Bowl, she sang the wrong lyrics. So it's crazy how it's like just doing it. For me, at least, I think I'm still in my head a lot. I still overthink, and that's something that I own, and I also believe that it's something that I need to change because well, first of all, something that was always there was my passion for film and TV and music. So that's why I came here to New York. But also, since I started with the mentoring, I was thinking like I want to help any teenager that I can, any young adult that I can, because these types of mentorships are pretty much mostly for grown-ups, and teenagers also deserve a slice of the cake. On like why just limit yourself to college? Why just limit yourself to finding a job? You have to do something. I mean, if there's something you're genuinely passionate about and it really doesn't need the conventional path, then why not do it? I second guessed it, and yeah, I'm still working on getting out of my head and just doing stuff. But even though I've thought like how can I help? Who can I help? Like something that was going through my mind was actually I want to help every teenager that I can, talk to any family that I can. But something that I've realized is that I can't help everyone, and I have to define like a specific family first, and that's actually something that I've had trouble with. Like, how do I reach out to the right people? Like, how do I keep, because most of the families I've talked to, they actually end up ghosting. They end up like the conversation keeps going, but it really doesn't go anywhere. I have this case actually with a family I know from Costa Rica. The mom has actually said that my kid apparently has lost purpose. He doesn't know what he wants to do. But on the other hand, I don't think she actually trusts herself to go through a process like this and allow me to help their kids. So, yeah, it's been hard for me to figure out how to reach out to the right people.
I didn't realize I was on mute. And so that get kind of like a full grasp of exactly. By the way, I love the context that you gave me. Do you mind giving me like your one question I can start off with?
Yeah. So like if I wanted to reach out for, I think I already asked also in the community, but the more opinions, the better. How would you suggest I could start reaching out to the right families who could actually take advantage of something like this?
Yeah, and that's a great question. A lot of people, within families, there's definitely some pushback, especially like, for example, in the babysitting space, right? If you don't have 5 stars, if you're not recommended highly, chances are not a lot of people are going to take a risk on you, especially if you're just starting out. So what I would say, and by no means am I an expert at this, but I feel like I have a good grasp of at people and how to truly change their hearts and their minds, so that way they trust you, they believe in you, and they support you. Do something that is and shout out to you, Fong. I know he's in here. How to be a go-giver? Be a go-giver for them. So offer anything for free, right? At least at the start. And this is when, by the way, for context, everybody, this is when you have no kind of alibis. Or I guess that's kind of like the wrong word to say here, but any recommendations, if you don't have any recommendations from people on something that you're trying to achieve, the best way to start is by offering your services for free. So that way you can build up the testimonies, the recommendations from people, and that way you are more trustworthy. Therefore, more people will start inquiring about you, which will then lead you to eventually start charging and raising your prices with time. So start off by performing any acts for free, so that way you can create a much stronger connection and relationship with the family. Because that's number one. It could be something as simple as taking them out for lunch or dinner, right? And saying, hey, like, just wanted to offer you this. I feel like we didn't get a chance to connect more. Here's my, et cetera, right? Figure out a way to enter their hearts before you kind of enter their family, and then start conversing, et cetera, and start creating an actual business out of that, right? It's oftentimes where we don't talk about business, that business relationships start happening because they care about you so much. If they like you, they're going to like working with you. So that's what I would recommend. It's base level, but it's a start. And eventually you'll get to, more and more reach to where now you'll start asking those more high level questions, right? Like, Athan, how do I stop so many people from wanting to connect with me? And how do I build these systems in place so that way I can make sure I can attend to all these inquiries, right?
That's the problem that we want, actually.
Exactly. There you go. And that's the best kind of problem. And how you get to that is just by starting to build these relationships. And they're going to like Joshua so much. I mean, you got a great smile, my man. Like, if people just connect with you and learn more about you and understand who you are as a person, they're going to want to work with you. They're going to want to do business with you. And even like, I know you mentioned in the film space and acting space, people take chances on people they like, whether it's an agent, whether it's a leading role, an opportunity there, right? A lot of people, like, for example, if you guys are familiar with the TV show Stranger Things, I'm sure most of us are. Dustin Henderson, the actor that plays Dustin Henderson, I think his name is Gaten Matarazzo. He bombed his audition, but they liked his character. He was very like joyous, fun, exciting, just spunky overall. They took a chance on him and they said, hey, you know what? We're still gonna cast you. Even though he even says that was my worst audition ever. I completely bombed that audition. I didn't memorize my lines. I stuttered on some bits. He still got the part. And now, would we have anybody else play that role? Probably not. He's so iconic. And so that's what I feel like is the best way to kind of get yourself into those rooms and put yourself in a position for success.
Definitely, thanks. Oh, and also, like, hearing Jodie Benson also say, "I've never been in a recording studio in my life. Like, how am I going to do this?" It was also like they took a chance. She had never done voiceover. Now, and something that she said was that, because it's funny in that business, in this industry, nothing is for certain. She actually auditioned for, like, more recently for a role of a 50-year-old mermaid, and she didn't get the part. Like, she's already an iconic mermaid, so the mindset would be like, why wouldn't they give me this role? I mean, it's a mermaid. I have more than enough experience with this, and she didn't get the part. And something that actually crossed her mind was, because also a lot of people like ask her, do you know who you are? Do you know what you've done? And it's crazy because she actually, well, she owns her mistakes, and even though a lot of people like idolize her and she's already a legend and she's taking one day at a time. And I mean, if you're asking yourself, oh, but I'm Jodie Benson, for crying out loud, I'm like, you're comparing yourself to something that other people are saying about you, which is great, but it gives you a standard that is not really that healthy. And then to start comparing yourself, like when she hears, oh, I want to be just like you, I want to see, it's like, why are you you're comparing yourself to other versions who have a different trajectory, a different like a different path. And even though you're moving within the same industry or within any other industry, even though we might have the same abilities, we have different toolkits and we have different ways that work for us. So it's also curious, like in business, in acting, there's a lot you can teach, but you have to connect with what helps the other person. Because what helped me might not help Athan, might not help Roy, might not help Ryan, or yeah. So it's really different how we can match knowledge, but at the end of the day, it's like a recipe where you're mixing together everything that you've learned, piecing everything together, and just getting something unique that helps you specifically.
100%, Josh. And that's what comes into play with character. I mean, personality. If you don't shine that out, how are you going to... Everybody wants to be an actor, right? Everybody wants to play the role of Ariel, but what it comes down to is character and who you are as a person, right? That's what separates you from everybody else. That's what makes you get into more rooms and achieve more opportunity. So, yeah,
Totally.
I brought that up.
Yeah, no, at least for me, it's funny because I do have a clear path with acting, but I'm still figuring out my path in business. So, I mean, it does come hand in hand, but you definitely learn a lot.
100%, Joshua. Thank you for being here, man. Thanks for coming up. Awesome. All right. Omar, great to see you, man. How's it going?
Hey, what's up?
How are you, man?
Very good, very good.
Awesome.
So, how's things with you?
Man, I can't complain. I'm living the dream.
Christmas time, huh? It's holiday
yeah.
season, I guess. That's it.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Awesome. Okay, so let's see. what was I thinking about? Yeah, I was wanting to kind of get an audit from you and I guess this space about where I'm at while I'm working on the mission, complete cancer healing for all in a conscious present manner, living above 100 for all as a norm. That's the vision, right? So as you're aware, and for everyone else as well who's listening in for the first time. So yeah, I'll just give a quick brief about where I'm at, and then you can just kind of give me that straight up audit on it. And okay, so firstly, it's I'm looking at this whole mission as a game of late, as a sort of like a volume. And the volume is that vision, and the first volume in that is the setting up the first clinic. And in this volume, there are levels, right? The first level is where you are getting this music video launched effectively, and which is also supposed to be an effective fundraiser. Then the next volume would be getting an idea which I was working on was getting these clinics in my area, like the small general practitioners, to perhaps tie up so that I can help them set up a personalized, like a common lab. Being a pathologist, that would be to my strength as well. And then at the same time, suggest like say that this is not just for the lab but for the cancer clinic. So this would be like a way in which they could invest in it. Of course, I'll have to figure out the specifics of it. And that's the general map that's coming up for me. Even in the first part, the music launch, the video launch, it also has to have an effective, like if I'm taking donations, then there needs to be the legality sorted out, payment gateway sorted out. Definitely, the legal aspect has to be words have to be very crucially scrutinized. So all those things will also be stage by stage for an effective music video launch. So that's where I'm at. In short, I want an evaluation in the space and just see, where I'm at and perhaps what can be done better.
Yeah, 100%. So, I mean, I hate going back around the same bit of advice I gave you, I think a month ago, Omar. But man, I think the first thing is, did you upload the music video?
No, it's going like from that perspective, it's going super slow. I'm like, I'm not, having enough space on that because there are so many other things that are coming up in the day which are, taking up my time space. So I'm ending up going like one step at a time, slowly, just taking few steps on that specific project. So it's like a collective of so many other things that are lining up. So yeah.
Okay. And what would you say is
progress? A little bit progress is there.
Right. Yeah. What would you say is your main focus right now?
Right now, my main focus I can see is the music video. I would put my entire that's the main thing. Of course, apart from the fact that I'm working in a hospital, that's taking up time and the day-to-day life, all those things are always consuming a good amount of time and money. But then there is this thing which is the main focus. And in this, at the moment, I was first finishing the editing. That was the first thing, and I'm almost done with that. It's like literally on the. In fact, I'm expecting it any minute also for that matter. The person was supposed to send me the edited video tonight, like this now. And then at the same time, there is the next stage, which is the payment gateways and legalities. That's also been going on simultaneously to some extent. But there is of course focused work on each of them, completing that. Then the next, then finally the launch of the song.
Yeah,
it's panning out.
When do you feel like you would, if you put in all your focus on that, when do you feel like you can get it done? Would you say a week, a month, a couple months, a year?
That's the thing. My estimation is so off from what I initially thought it would be. Yeah. But if right now at the stage I'm at, in the understanding that I'm at right now, I can say the full launch would probably be 30th Jan. That's like one number coming off the head of top of my mind.
Yeah, January 30th.
That's what's coming up right now.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's good. See, because look, before it was like, oh, I'll get it done in a couple weeks, I'll get it done in a month, et cetera, et cetera. When you put a goal in place and a date for that specific goal, it's like an expiration date, right? Everybody, do we check our milk? Our milk's expiration date, like every time we pick it up, and we're like, okay, we got to finish this milk before it expires. Same thing with everything else. We got to finish this before it expires. We got to do this before it expires. Take January 30th as if it's an expiration date, right? Make sure you put in all your power, hone in all of your energy into getting that music video done, and like not saying rid of, but get it over with, right?
Over with. Yeah. Next stage.
So you get to the next stage and focus on the next thing. If you spread yourself too thin, right? What in your mind is your main goal will start becoming less of a priority because you're handling this and handling that and handling that. And then what new idea comes when you're doing something else, and then you focus on that new idea, and the music ends up getting cast into the shadows, and you forget, right? So if you just hone in on that music video, if that's truly like the next step for you, and you set the date January 30th, you will get it done by January 30th if you put in all your energy to it. It's like this one question that I saw from this one. I actually made a video on this on the Men for More page. It's from this mentor that was on this podcast, and he said, "Okay, let's just test something out, and I just want to see." And so I'll do the same exact thing for you. What's the percentage of you getting it done by January 30th, realistically, Omar?
70.
Okay, 70%, right? 70%. Some people say 20%, 30%, 50%, right, on their goals, etc. Whenever I ask them that question, right, like what is the percentage of you achieving your next goal, right? And they're like, oh, they start thinking about different circumstances and situations and excuses as to why they can't do what they do, and they say, you know what, maybe 20%, 30%, 10%, 50%, 70%, like you said. And then here's the situation, and don't take this literal, of course, it's just a scenario. But what are the chances of you getting it done if everybody in your family's life is on the line, et cetera, et cetera? The worst possible situation can happen. It would change immediately, drastically, from 70% to 100%, correct? Right?
Yeah.
There's something on the line there. So if your life was on the line, if other people's lives were on the line that you cared about, that 70% would turn to 100 real quick. And so that makes you think in perspective, right? If that were to happen, if you were forced to make that a 100% possibility that you would get it done by January 30th, what are some habits that you would change immediately, right? Maybe you would go to sleep earlier. Maybe you would get up earlier. Maybe you would not scroll on TikTok for 30 minutes throughout the day. Maybe you would stop playing a certain video game. Maybe you would spend more time controlling your own day-to-day tasks and handling them better, possibly giving them off, delegating them to other people so that we can focus in on this music video. And so that different mindset shifts, it allows more opportunity for your brain to actually think and like put it into perspective. Wow, maybe if I did this, that would allow me more time to focus on the music video. So that way it's very sure that I'll get it done by January 30th. And so that would be my next step for you. Start thinking about ways that you can put systems into place where you can make that 100% possibility that you'll get it done by January 30th. Like, man, I'm excited to see the music video, man. You have me waiting, Omar. You got me waiting.
I know. I'm so sorry about that. The discussion has been going on.
No, yeah, but that would be my next step, man, for you. Just make sure you hone in on that and make it a reality. Because once you make it a reality and you stop pushing it away for more and more time, you'll be relieved at how much more time you'll have now that the music video is over with. It's uploaded, it's done. You get to share it with everybody, so that way whenever you have a conversation with someone, you can be like, yo, I just dropped this music video. It's very cool. It's actually helping in the process of getting the cure of cancer, etc., helping others that have cancer. Check it out. The best, like the least you can do is just check it out. And they watch it and they see that it's very informational, inspirational, educational. And they're like, yo, Omar, I need to know more about this. And that leads you into more funnels for your actual business, more eyeballs drawn, more money invested, and more people that actually care about you and want to see you succeed, so that way everybody else can win and succeed. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. I think this is the time for me to align that date because of late I've been very selective about setting dates for things. I had this conversation with Roy as well earlier, and he we were discussing about in one of our mastermind meets that whether you set dates or not for things for goals. And then later on, I had this conversation with Laura St. John. That's her name, right? Yeah. So
Yeah,
so yeah, that's right. So she also had got a interesting take on that, where she said that when you setting deadlines, you can decide on the basis of whether it's aligning with you, or if it's something that if it's feeling like a pressure, or if it's feeling like something that is just it's not feeling right at the with you, then you release the timeline. Whereas if it feels something that's set for you and then encourages you to kind of go forward, then set it. So now with this discussion, I feel it's time for this deadline that it is aligning some level.
There you go. There you go. And man, just keep us all updated. And I would say just if you have a calendar physically, put an X on each day, and then keep on looking back at January 30th and saying, okay, I got this amount of days to make it happen, right? And say, did I do enough yesterday? And if not, don't beat yourself up over it, because it's just going to delay you more progress. Think about how can I perform twice as better today than I did yesterday? If you feel you didn't perform at your best, and if you did perform at your best, challenge yourself and say, how can I perform better than I did yesterday? So I keep setting the bar high and I keep on crushing my goals and get closer towards that video launch. But keep us posted on more, and I'm excited to hear about it when it actually happens, man.
Thanks so much.
Absolutely, man. All right. For our last question, we got Nathan. What's going on, Nathan? Great to see you, man. I'm glad you're
here.
What
up, Athan? What up, man? Pleasure to be here, bro.
Yes, sir. Man? Good. How are you? Let me bring you up here.
Heck yeah. If I'm breathing hard and you hear some music in the background, jump at the gym.
Hey, man.
Hitting a pump right now. Come on.
Is that not the best way to start the morning, man?
It's the best way, man. It's the best way. Actually, I want to add on to that too, bro. Our last call with Michael, I forget his last name, but it was the toy millionaire.
Yeah.
Doing a bunch of toy sales. Yes, bro. I asked on that call, and I got a question for you too. I asked, how do you keep your confidence consistent? And he was like, well, to answer your question, start off your day with the first hour all to yourself. Bro, it's been working fantastic. Just amazing. Don't even put in perspective. So moved out to Boise all by myself. It was just me, my car, and Jesus, and that's it, bro. That's literally it. And I've always had confidence, charisma inside me. Just when I was just by myself with like just building friends out of a whole brand new environment. It was a little downgrading on my confidence, right? So that's that question, bro. I literally just not blast music, but play worship music in the morning, like 20 minutes. Just kind of do my whole little routine just for the whole hour. Confidence everywhere, like really everywhere I walk, bro. It's amazing. It works like a freaking charm. Just wanted to add that.
Yeah, no worries about that.
Thank you, man. So one of the questions, or I guess the question I have for you, is we're discussing our why in this call, and I found mine. And in the past, it hit waves. It was like, all right, do I do it? Do I not do it? Do I do it? Do I not do it? And I got to the point where it's like, all right, cool. Now I'm working every day towards it. Now it's one step closer every day. Same thing as the 1% better than every day. My question to you would be, how would you keep your patience to work towards your why every single day?
Yeah, that's a great question. All right, so hear me out on this explanation. It may sound like far-fetched at first.
Open to it.
I promise you that this has completely transformed my mind. Okay.
Cool.
I've had so many people tell me like, hey, Athan, like, man, like, why am I feeling this way? I'm doing all the correct things in order to feel my best, perform my best. Why are things still coming up in my life where I have days where I don't feel my best, right? And I lose my patience more. I don't feel as happy. I'm gonna tell you this: the sooner you understand and get comfortable knowing that those days will come, the faster you'll actually be able to fight through it and get over it quicker. Okay.
That's interesting.
And I have to say that because we're not always gonna feel our best. But if we decide to ignore that, we're gonna think that something's wrong with us. Like, I'm doing all the right things. Like, you're gonna
it's like a spiral effect after that. Yeah.
Spiral effect. You're gonna panic. You're gonna be like, what am I doing? Like, what else can I do? Is there something else I can do? Why am I feeling this way? You're gonna start overthinking, doubting yourself, and then you're right back in that situation that you once were. All that progress you made initially is now gone because you completely ignore the fact that some days you won't feel your best. Nathan, some days you're gonna wake up and you're like, man, dude, I don't feel good today. Why do I feel like helpless? Why do I feel down?
100%, dude. 100%. But you think spot on every, by the way.
And so if you can just be comfortable knowing that those days will come, you'll be able to figure out faster how you can get over those days, right? And how you can move on to actual happiness, right? So maybe your day starts off poor, but then you do something else that makes you happy. You perform certain actions, right? That fulfills you. It might not transform that day, but maybe tomorrow you wake up and you feel fulfilled now because, hey, like, I still pushed through those bad days and I made it on the other side. I feel great. So to answer your question about patience, right? There's so many times where I'm biting my tongue, especially in when I was working retail. There was days where I came in and I wasn't feeling my best, whether it's something that happened prior that kind of affected how I went to work, etc. And even today, when let's say something bad happens at the gym where someone like argues with me and then I argue back, or maybe I ignore them, but I still feel that anger and tension inside, right?
Like, regret it. I probably should have steps like that or something.
Yeah, or
then just walk off.
Exactly. Or maybe the most common one: someone cuts you off in traffic and they're making like an ignorant angle and they're not using their turn signal, right? Something like that, where it pisses you off. You know you can't do anything about it other than beep, right? Because then they're moving in a different direction that you're going, and so you're stuck with that kind of anger, and you're trying to find a justification as to how you can get over it and why you're feeling that way. What I do is I say to myself, I'm like, okay, I feel this way. I feel all anger and fired up. I'm just gonna go harder at the gym. Let me go to the gym and let me figure out, like, let me work this out. Instead of asking yourself, why do I feel this way? Like, am I a jerk because I'm beeping at someone and I'm wishing them harmful things in my mind, et cetera, et cetera? That's like overthinking yourself as to why you're not making any progress. It's like, dude, like, enough thinking about why you're not making any progress and actually create the progress. You know? So
yeah, man. I actually just had a call with Tony. He just joined the community maybe a few days ago, and we had like a similar conversation where it's just like, yo, like Tony was like more like the thinking, the analytically, the like, all right, why does this happen? How does this happen? Yada, yada. And I told him, I was like, yo, I'm just action to it, bro. Like, one of my personal big like philosophies, whatever you want to call it, one of my big quotes is depression cannot hit a moving target. If you literally just keep taking action on whatever, just freaking hit the gym right here or something like that, go for a walk, go for a run, get some sunshine, like freaking read a book, open up your Bible, listen to one of the podcasts in here in our classrooms. Like, bro, you're not gonna get sad, dude. You're not gonna get sad. Those like weird emotions are not gonna kick in if you just keep moving. Yeah. And where like the patience comes in, that's where I kind of struggled with a little bit, and getting to a point where it's like finding the right balance to get that patience. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Does that make
100%.
sense? That makes sense? Yeah.
Yeah, real quick, just
Mhm.
before you move on, I want actually, you know what? Go ahead. I'll maintain a note in my mind because I want to hear
Okay.
what you have to say.
Okay, let's do it. And what you said about the like grasping on when those like weird just emotions kick in. I'm gonna try that, bro. I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try. Just do something. And actually, it resonated with me. It was on Saturday. I came to the gym, and like usually on Saturdays, I spend a lot of months, bro. I'm not gonna lie. So I was gonna keep myself for the last 2 years to do my thing. And like, I just got to a point where I'm like, what the am I feeling right now? Like, what's going on, right? And bro, like, literally, like with me, dude, I'm a huge praising God, huge praising Jesus, totally following Christ. I just got to my knees, bro, just started freaking praising, bro.
There you go.
Like, I just felt immediately better. I'm like, all right, cool, now I can get on with the thing. I was like, all right, I think it's my environment. I just went up to a little corner, to my corner, I'm like, all right, do some out.
100%. And on that note, like, here's another thing as well. And by the way, this I cannot take credit for this realization because a mentor of mine that lives in Austin, his name is Nick Comedina.
Mhm.
He was talking about a time where one of his clients said, "Man, Nick, I'm doing everything right. Like I'm going to the gym in the morning. I go for runs. I eat well, and I'm having a mental block. I can't figure out how to get to the next step in my business, and I'm like stuck."
Mhm.
And Nick said, "Well, have you gone to the beach?" And he's like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "What if you go to the beach in the morning, right? And then run there, or do you work out there, or sit on the beach and just look at the waves, just
Mhm.
flashing by, and just
That's
sit there."
crazy how much.
What he's basically saying is, if you get like you, Nathan, let's say like you're going to the gym in the morning right now, you're getting a good workout in, maybe you're gonna go eat something good afterwards, and you're gonna get to work, you're gonna make that progress. Let's say you do that for 8 months straight, a year straight, and then one day you just feel like drained, you feel like tired, and you're like, man, like I'm doing everything right. Why do I feel this way? It's because you haven't shifted something, and they're called seasonal shifts. Within a season, there's a reason that you need to shift something, so that way you don't get comfortable doing the same thing. It's exactly like the gym, right? In the gym, when we're hitting a certain exercise,
What's up?
let's say chest, right? We don't always want to make sure we bench press because we're gonna get comfortable knowing that bench press will come first. What if instead of bench pressing, you change it up for dips? You shock your body, you shock your muscles, so that way you feel that soreness that you felt the very first day that you went to the gym, right? And so shift something about your day, shift something about your routine. Beneficial, of course. You'll realize that you'll feel not only so much more fulfillment, but also it'll spark new ideas and creativity, and also drive you more to chase your great dreams, accomplish your dreams, and possibly kind of like break off that mental block that maybe has been moving on to the next level.
Bro, that was amazing. That was amazing. Holy shit! I wrote that down and everything. And like, it would kind of be like same thing as the 1%. Like, just shift something, not everything, but something. I want to add on to that too, bro. My mom told me this. She was like, grow before you change. And I was like, okay, hey, mom, you're right. And seasonal shift. Dude, that was amazing, bro. That was amazing. That was fantastic.
Let's go, Nathan. And man, like
Okay.
to add on to your mom's point, I mean, when you grow, you do change, right?
Exactly.
I mean, if you're a seed that was planted on day one, it's grown and it's sprouted, and put some green in there. It's changed because it's grown.
Spread some sunshine, man. Go to the beach.
Oh, come on, man.
Come on now.
Hey, man,
Yeah,
it's
man.
all-
Athan, we should connect, bro. We should connect, dude. Just see how we can help each other, man.
do it, man. Just reach out to me on school. I know you've been.
We'll do, bro.
Message. Awesome.
We don't, man. Yeah, I try to find Sabbath during my week, just either on Sunday. I'm looking at Sundays, dude, just drop my phone, do nothing. Like absolutely nothing, dude. It says in the Bible, and just, bro, it makes you work harder, it makes you think clearer, it makes you like more dedicated, more motivated, more disciplined. And yeah, that's a Sunday you're here for me, but every other day, I hit you up, bro.
Yes, sir, Nathan. Hey, always great to
Thank
see you, man. And thank you for
Athan,
showing up.
likewise, man. Likewise, man. Likewise, bro.
Let's go, man. Take care. Let's go. All right. Last but not least, we got the man, the legend, Yufong, in the building. What's going on, brother? How are we doing?
Good. I'm doing great, Athan. How about you, man?
And I mean, I hate to take it from Rob, man, but I'm feeling blessed and highly favored today, man.
Let's go, bro. Yo, dude, quick question for you. Leave us with one last gem. I want to ask you, Athan, how important is it to let your inner child out for success and also happiness? Like, how important is it to let that inner child out? And how do you do that?
Oh man, dude, I wouldn't say it's everything, but it's definitely a high percentage, right? Because when we're children, that's when we're our purest form, in the sense that we don't care about race, we don't care about religion, we don't care about anything. I mean, of course, if you're tied down to religion, nevertheless, we don't care about what people's race is, religion is, what their passions are. If we find a connection in an individual, we find a connection in an individual as a child, right? Because we only feel energy as children. We don't know how we like this person. We don't know how like we're connecting in a certain way, whether it's our passion for Pokemon, cars, etc. But the fact of the matter is, when you're a kid, you find that you're able to connect with an individual, not even speaking. Rather than today, where there's so many different things that come into play, right? Especially in a lot of people's mindset, right? And I know it, we all know it. People kind of dissect a certain part about you, and not everybody, but a lot of people do. They dissect a certain part about you, and then they immediately exclude you from ever connecting with one another. And so, healing that inner child, to answer your question, is what did you enjoy, right? As a child growing up, what did you enjoy? What did you feel like was your purpose? For me, I always knew growing up that I was meant to help other people. In the 6th grade, we had an organization come in the auditorium and speak called Stand for the Silent. And it was talking about how this father that was a speaker, was talking about how his son was a victim to bullying and took his own life, right? And that stuck with me because I'm like, I wouldn't want anybody to feel that way. I was getting bullied myself during that time. Growing up, I was getting mistreated, not only at school, but at home. And so I figured I changed my mindset from why is this happening to me? God, tell me, why am I feeling this way? Why is this happening to me? Why me? Do I do something bad? Is there something wrong with me? And I shifted that mindset and I told myself, okay, instead of thinking that so negatively, I should be thanking God because it allows me to understand people who are going through this situation more. It allows me to enter their hearts because I felt similar judgment. I felt similar kind of, I wouldn't say displacement, but it was displacement for me. I didn't feel like I belonged there. I didn't feel like I belonged at that school that I was going to because my family didn't have the sum of wealth that several of these other kids' families had, right? I felt misplaced. I felt that I wasn't better than any of these people. And I was constantly ridiculing myself and my behavior to try to fit in with these individuals that I thought and praised as high worth individuals. When in reality, I am the high worth individual. And if I continue to work on myself, I will continue to be that person that I can look up to, other than God, of course. And so when you change that mindset of healing your inner child, right? Instead of saying, how can I heal my future self? And how can I create success for my future self? Think about what would my past self want? What did I want from a child? And that's how you also find your why. That was the topic of the discussion. How do you find your why? And so when you look back on growing up, what trials and tribulations did you go through that shaped you into who you are today? That will allow yourself more understanding of who you are as a person. You've been through a lot of stuff. I've been through a lot of stuff. We've all been through a lot of stuff. But that's exactly why we are who we are. I guarantee you that. There you go. But I guarantee that what you went through, Yufeng, shaped you to help you understand and educate people more, especially on the spoken word, which you're so good at. That's why you have these masterminds. You're able to connect with people on a deeper level because, hey, that's the way that you were raised. You were raised to connect with individuals in a certain way, create that vibration, that energy that people want to be around you. And ultimately, that's what led you to the successes that you've achieved to this day. So, man, I say going back to your childhood is everything because it helps you become more in tune with yourself, your goals, and your passions.
Thank you, Athan. Appreciate you, bro.
Yes, sir. I got you, brother. And I'll see you on the meeting. And I guess we're 2 minutes over, but I'm gonna close off right now, bro.
Ow, yeah.
Yeah, you want to stay on me while we close off?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Okay, awesome. Everybody, we got a big call happening tomorrow. I repeated this several times, but I'm gonna say it one more time. Tomorrow, Tuesday, December 16th at 7 p.m. Eastern, we are having Michael Lim for a mentorship call. If you guys don't know who Michael Lim is, I'm sure you've all seen Alex Hormozy, right? Alex Hormozy launched his book. I think it's called $100 Million Models. It's the green book that went viral. All the marketing campaigns and everything that was created, right? The green people holding up the signs, all of that was actually executive directed by Michael Lim. He's recently since left Alex Hormozy to pursue bigger and better endeavors. He's the head of staff at owner.com, but he's also previously worked with, like I said, Alex Hormozy and Mr. Beast with Beast Philanthropy. And so you're not going to want to miss this game-changing opportunity to talk to an up-and-comer in the entrepreneurial space who can show you how to market correctly and direct correctly, so that way you can receive the best possible outcome. I mean, Alex Hormozy got a Guinness World Record for crying out loud for most book copies sold within, I think, within a certain amount of days. And so he holds that Guinness World Record book because of the marketing that went into it, and even the marketing during the campaign when he went live and he was selling his books. So you're not going to want to miss that call. We're excited to see you there. And of course, you're not going to want to miss Yufeng's School of Mentors Mastermind happening the very next day, December 17th, Wednesday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. So make sure you tune in for that. Other than that, everybody, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you all. I hope you got some great wisdom from this. And then let me know your takeaways in the school community and tag me. And I'll make sure to give you a like and let you know my thoughts. But everybody else, take care. We'll see you soon. And stay solid, everybody. You guys got this. You guys are going to crush it and make great things happen. Let's go. Take care.